Kevin Hester, you are ridiculous.
The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Shut up. See that? That's your IQ, buddy. 0.
Hungry Chicago, finally champions on this January day in New Orleans.
This is the Barely Qualified Podcast with your hosts, Nick Lavris, Jason Maxwell, and Drew Bailey.
All right. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Barely Qualified Podcast. I'm Jason Maxwell. With me, as always, are Drew Bailey and Nick Lavris. Here we are, boys. We're getting ready for another playoff game this season. Still feels weird to say another playoff game. Expectations have been blown past. The emotional high is still lingering in the Bears fan base. A quick reminder to ourselves really quick as well. It had been 15 years since the Bears had won a single playoff game. Okay. 2010 being the last time our Chicago Bears won a playoff game. So, let's kind of take a little victory lap. Let's feel good. But also note that there's still work to be done, right? Our Cardiac Bears host an elite team in the LA Rams on Sunday night. This is undoubtedly going to be, the biggest test of the year for the Bears in a winner-go-home playoff setting that's sure to have Soldier Field rocking. So on tonight's episode, gentlemen, we're going to break down the matchup against the Rams, of course. We're going to touch on some new coaching news that broke in the last couple of days really quickly. And then we're going to step into the BQ fantasy and gambling corner with our plays of the week. I want to make a fun announcement as well. The BQ Guillotine League Trophy day, and boy, she's a beaut. Truly a beaut. Eric, if you're listening, get that shipped out to you, or Drew's going to meet up with you at some point. However we get it to you, it's on its way. So maybe we'll post some trophy pictures on Instagram so you can see what some of the beautiful prizes are. Eric, we're also going to get some other prize packages your way pretty soon here as well. So before we formally get started on the show, the Barely Qualified Podcast is proudly fueled by the fizz of Glen Rock Pop, Lake County's legendary soda revival. Crafted with pure cane sugar, poured into glass bottles, and bursting with nostalgic flavor, Glen Rock's more than a drink. It's a hometown icon. Whether you're sipping on orange or cream soda or Nick's personal MVP, the all-new lime, Glen Rock is bringing joy back to every corner of Lake County. You want to catch their pop-up action and good God, you want to catch their pop-up trailer in action? Follow Glen Rock Pop on Facebook for the latest event stops. Ready to stock up? Head to glenrockpop.com to find retailers near you. From tailgates to game days, Glen Rock Pop is the ultimate sideline sip. Don't just drink it, celebrate. Guys, let's dive right into it. Let's break down this divisional matchup, Rams at Bears this Sunday night. Nick, you know the drill. I'm going to toss it over to you, let you take it away.
Yeah, let's dive into this game. Should be a fun one. So Rams at Bears, We're hosting this game at Soldier Field. Bears are currently plus 3.5, over under set at 48.5. Bears are plus 165 on that money line. This is the prime time-ish game, the tent pole, whatever you want to call it, game of the week. Sunday night, 5:30 NBC, Sunday Night Football crew, Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, the whole gang. So yeah, I mean, when I saw the Bears were playing on Sunday, I thought for sure they were going to get the Sunday night game, and this just kind of confirmed it, obviously, on Monday night. So that's exciting. I'm glad to see that. In terms of storylines, I think the first storyline you're going to run into in this game is the weather. The weather is we're going to be talking a lot of weather this week, the next couple of days here in the Chicagoland area. It's going to be a cold one. It's going to be a low of 7 degrees, a high of 20. It says negative 10 degrees at game time. Is that, I assume, with wind chill?
Wind chill.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But that's still right on the lake. That's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal right there on the lake at game time, night game. Yeah, so I think that, I mean, right off the bat, gut reaction to that news is that that's a huge advantage for the Bears because they live here. They practice outside news came out they've been practicing outside all season to kind of prepare for a game like this. And I think Kevin Byard said that during an interview either today or yesterday, how they did not like it, but now they're kind of understanding that it was a good idea. But the Rams, Rams practicing in sunny California. It's been like 80 degrees all week in LA. So this is going to be, I think it's going to be a shock because, I'm not sure what their roster looks like, but probably not a lot of players that came from the Midwest or the North or the Northeast. Probably going to be a lot of people that are not used to this kind of weather. So, yeah, I mean, I'll take an advantage any way I can get it in a game like this.
100%. Right. I mean, God bless it. We need everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't mean to see that in a negative way, but like, let's the Bears hosting this playoff game makes it doable, right? With the weather as cold as it's going to be, there's additional elements in play, and that favors the Bears in this matchup. It's got to.
I mean, it goes without speaking. We've seen some of Matthew Stafford's records in the cold. Obviously, it's playoff football. But like Jay said, any advantage that you can get, you're going to take in the playoffs, and that's why you play to win the game in the regular season to get games like these and have that advantage. But also too, like, I guarantee you, just as loud as you heard that stadium against the Packers last weekend, you're going to hear it just as loud this weekend, regardless of the cold weather. And you'll see shirtless buffoons 100% out there.
I would be disappointed if we didn't.
Tarps off.
Yeah. Tarps off for the boys.
That's right. That is correct. So talking about Matt Stafford's record in the cold, he's actually 1-9. You'd think he was okay because he did play the NFC North for a long time, played against the Bears and the Packers, obviously once a year each, and at Lambeau or Soldier Field. 1-9 career games under 30 degrees. Like, I heard that's been going around for a while, and it surprised me. I didn't realize he was. I mean, I think this might also just kind of be a Lion stat more than a lot of things,
True.
I don't want to get too excited about it because he was on the Lions for most of these games, and the Lions were really bad when he was there most of the time. But I mean, 1-9 is 1-9. So I do think that's something worth noting, especially considering the fact that I don't know. I haven't seen the news, but I know that he hurt his finger pretty bad, his right index finger, which is a pretty important finger when it comes to a right-handed quarterback throwing the ball. Not to get too technical, but it is like the last finger that's in contact on the ball, in contact with the ball as he's releasing it. So it is, it's, if you have a weak index finger, it's going to affect your throws. And then you throw on top of that, it's going to be single digits to negative degrees outside. It's not going to feel good throwing the ball for Matt Stafford. So these are all things that definitely are in the Bears' favor.
Yeah.
And the cold one, the cold like weather game that I can remember most recently for Matthew Stafford in the playoffs was the one against the Eagles last year. Granted, it was an absolute snowstorm.
Yeah.
But still it had, that cold weather atmosphere. And let's not mince words. He did throw for 324 yards, but still lost the game. So that's always a good thing to see. It was away. So yeah, maybe he's not in the worst statistical standing in cold weather, but not a great record. So I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you listen to this podcast, if you watch the Bears, you know that one of the biggest weaknesses on the Bears is the pass rush. So what I'm about to say might not make sense. But if you can get any kind of pass rush on Matt Stafford and hit him or make him uncomfortable, it's going to obviously make your chances of winning this game better. And the one thing I'll say to kind of help the chances of the Bears getting a pass rush, do you guys know who the starting center for the Los Angeles Rams is?
I sure do, Nick. Drew,
Yes.
do you?
No.
It's Coleman Shelton, former Bear.
Baby.
Oh, okay. All right.
Whenever you have a former Bear starting your offensive line, not a good sign.
Not a good sign.
Not a good sign at all. So get some Andrew Billings, get some Grady Jarrett, maybe
Pressure up the middle, baby.
You know,
Push
we
him backwards.
we're big fans of.
Yeah, get them all in there.
Oh my God.
We are big
Andrew-
fans of Andrew Billings on this show. So
We
hopefully
are
he can-
Andrew Billings, dude.
We are Andrew Billings. That's correct. So yeah, I do. I mean, the tackles. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know who these people are because I don't. But I do know that when you have a former Bear starting on the interior line, it's not good. And I think that the Bears can get some pressure up the middle. So hopefully we can do that, because if we can do that, I really do think that not only do the Bears have a chance, but they have a chance of kind of, I don't know. I've said this on this podcast probably 13 times this year at least, but again, and I know this isn't exactly the same team, but I was at that Bears-Rams game, that Sunday night game in 2018, where the Rams were undefeated, our offense was rolling, and the Bears just absolutely bodied them the entire game. It was really cold. It was right before Christmas. I could see a game similar to that because the Rams are a warm weather team. And that's just, the thing that scares you the most about the Rams is obviously going to be the receivers, right? Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. And I don't know if the cold's going to really stop them a ton, but I do know that Puka Nacua is a warm weather guy. He's from, I think, Nevada, California, somewhere out west.
BYU guy, is he not?
He went to BYU, but I looked it up. I thought I saw he was from
Somewhere
Reno or something like that.
Yeah, it would make sense.
I'm going to look it up because I want to make sure I'm right. Oh, Vegas. He was born in Vegas,
wow,
but
nice.
he did grow up in Provo, but that's all still warm weather-ish stuff. So I don't think that he's really familiar with the cold weather like this. Yeah, I don't know. I do. One, there's going to be get ready for a lot of weather talk. You've already experienced a lot of it, and I think it's important though. I don't think this is one of those things that people talk about for no reason. Like, this is genuinely a huge advantage the Bears have. So I'm looking forward to that.
It 100% will be one of the first things talked about as the game comes on the network.
Oh yeah,
and they're saying, "Oh, look at the wind chill," or they turn to like the degree clock looking thing and say, "Oh my gosh, on field level, it's -5 down here."
Yeah.
And it will continue to be featured. So
yeah,
you can't sight away from it right now.
The degree clock, or as most people call it, a thermometer. No, I'm just kidding.
Give me the degree clock.
No, there's definitely going to be a spot where the sideline reporter, Melissa Stark, I believe, is a Sunday Night Football sideline reporter, where she's going to be standing next to a giant thermometer. And there's 100. Like, if I could put a bet on that, I would, because that's 100% going to happen.
Yeah, no, 100% is going to happen.
Yeah. So it's going to be a major talking point. We're going to hear a lot of Collinsworth weather conversation, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be good listening.
Yeah, it is.
So, all right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Bears offense. Bears offense, I think one of the things you want to definitely take away from the Rams is their pass rush. Right, Jared Verse is a good pass rusher. So, especially given the fact that you're probably going to be down to Theo Benedict or Braxton Jones, not 100% sure who's going to play left tackle. Do we know? Has that been announced?
It hasn't been announced, but I think it's Benedict is inevitable there, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I think so.
Braxton got benched, and I know Braxton's coming back and is going to be healthy, but I would be shocked if Braxton got the starting reps at left tackle for this game.
Do you think we're going to see some Braxton though in that swing tackle role that we've seen Theo in, or maybe that play last week where he lined up out wide and ran legitimately a route?
Yeah, maybe, maybe.
I can see. I could definitely see Braxton taking. Well, I don't think Braxton would be the athletic.
You think they'd put him at left tackle and throw
static inside and put Theo outside? But yeah, I think it could be there.
I really am curious what Ben Johnson is setting up with that play where he actually ran the route. Like, he ran like a go. Like, it wasn't even like he didn't run like an out. He didn't run a comeback or a drag. He ran a straight up go. Like, just take it to the house, big man. And I mean, God, if that ever happened, that would be just the craziest thing, and it would be awesome.
Can you imagine him just taking a 50-yarder against the Rams?
Oh God, could only imagine. That would be the best. So, yeah, I definitely think Benedict is going to be the starter at left tackle. I agree with you, Jay. Braxton got benched. He's probably not going to be the guy that gets put back in there now that he's back from injury. I do think he'll be active. I think we'll see him a little bit, but I don't think he's going to be the starter out there. So yeah, I mean, and to talk about Jared Verse a little more, he's got 7.5 sacks on the year, which on paper doesn't look anything impressive, but he is constantly around the quarterback. He has a ton of pressures, ton of hurries, which are different things according to stats, which I don't know.
Still don't know how that one works.
We've had this
out.
conversation. Don't really know. But either way, he's got a lot of those. He's an impact player on defense for sure. So got to watch out for him. Got to scheme, make sure he's, schemed and made sure he's, covered at all times. But and just outside of him, the Rams have the 5th highest ranked defensive line in football per Pro Football Focus at the end of the season grades. Poona Ford is another defensive lineman the Rams have, who I think he's like 5'8" or 5. He's not very tall, but he is a monster.
Yeah, no, he's bowling ball.
Yeah, he is a monster in the middle. So definitely the interior line has got their work cut out for them, but opposed to previous seasons, like that's something I'm feeling pretty confident in. The interior line has been the strength of this team all season, so that's not something I'm super worried about. I don't know if just moving him in the run game is going to be a challenge, but I think they should be able to do that.
Yeah, I will kind of call out too. I am worried about the Benedict versus matchup, and I'm hoping I would imagine that's going to be mitigated with a lot of 12 personnel. Maybe Cole Kmet on the left side a lot, just chipping and lingering, and making sure that Verse doesn't have a clean shot. The Caleb's blind side,
100%.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if Cole Kmet's getting the recognition for being the blocker that he is this season. He's been like, his numbers, like catches and yards and touchdowns, are all down this season, but his blocking, he's an incredible blocker. I mentioned this a little bit as I was kind of going through the whole game on the last show we did, but on the game-winning touchdown to DJ Moore, Cole Kmet was lined up as essentially the right tackle, like one-on-one against the Packers defensive end, and he not only held his own, he won the rep. He stuffed him. Cole Kmet is a absolute monster. So I agree with you 100%. You're going to see a lot of Cole Kmet over there kind of chipping and helping on the left side of the offensive line, would be my guess. Sorry, Drew, did I cut you off?
No. I think the one way we got to just also mitigate a good defensive line, not that they gave up a whole ton during the regular season, is get the run game established early, like we've always talked about. And interior runs, or those cutback runs that we had a lot of luck with against, not luck, but a lot of success against Philadelphia. This feels like a game that you have to stretch out the offense a lot and stretch out the offensive possessions. We've been calling for it for a while, but make sure they tick down that clock on top of scoring points. But yeah, that's the way that you take out a good defensive line real quick, is run the ball down their throats in cold weather, make them feel the hurt. And once again, I feel like we called that out in last week's playoff game, but that's what we wanted to do. And if they take that away from us really quickly, going to be a dogfight.
Yeah, that's 100% right. That kind of gets into the next point here, is that I think the run game is going to be key to avoiding this, but avoiding a slow start against the Rams is absolutely imperative. Say this every week. Every week they don't come out to a hot start and it's just miracle comeback, and it's great. But man, it would be nice to just watch a game where they just come out hot, like the 49ers game, but maybe throw a couple of stops in there, just go up and down the field, take care of the ball. Just keep getting first downs, lean on the run game. I'm telling you, when you're playing defense in the cold, Your job as a defensive lineman specifically, and a linebacker to a certain extent, is to kind of react and take the hits and try and get off of them. Getting hit in the cold sucks. It's awful. It hurts like way more, and you're slower, and you just gotta, if you can just like deliver the blows, and they're gonna feel it by the fifth, sixth play. They're gonna feel it, and they're not gonna want to be out. Like, I don't want to say they're not gonna want to be out there anymore, but they're not gonna want to get hit as much. They're gonna be a lot more passive. So if you can just run the ball down their throat, I think this is a game you can do that, because cold weather is what it's going to call for. This is what this game script calls for. So I hope that the Bears can do that. But I guess we will see. But I don't know. I don't know. I want the run game to work. The reason I'm so unsure is because against the Packers, I legitimately thought the Bears were going to be able to run the ball at will. And Jeff Heffley, the Packers defensive coordinator, had a great game planned against the Bears run game. The Bears also kind of abandoned the run game a little bit early. So I would like to see them stick with it a little bit more. I think that they can just chip away and then eventually kind of break it. And I know we all think back to that Eagles game that we had, in the middle, or what is it, right after Thanksgiving? Oh, it was Black Friday, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Yeah, it was Black Friday. Like, you think back to that game and just try and, like, if we can replicate like a little bit of that, I think we're going to be in a good spot.
Yeah, controlling the line of scrimmage and imposing the run game is going to be necessary. I think it for obvious reasons, it leads to time of possession or gains, and that keeps Matt Stafford off the field, and McVay from calling plays, and Puka from running all over the place. So it's going to be really important to establish the run game this week.
One thing I actually just looked up, because I totally had forgotten about this. I don't necessarily think it's going to come into play, but their defensive coordinator, Chris Shula, for the Rams, is scheduled for an interview for the head coaching job at Pittsburgh. And I'm wondering if that takes away from anything to what he's going into. Obviously, you're in the playoffs. Like, you're in the 1-2 steps away from the Super Bowl. Obviously, you're going to be thinking about what's in front of you. But two, like, this dude,
foot out the door,
had a decent defense. Like, are your priorities on like this next game, or are you trying to make that next big step? I mean, he's 2 years older than us, I think, and that would be a absolute, like, I hate saying stuff like that. I absolutely hate saying stuff like that. But like, this is an absolute major step in career that like, if you get a head coaching job somewhere, you're pretty much setting up potential generational wealth for like family and everything like that. So like, is this your biggest focus? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's worth talking about for a little bit, because I think that kind of gets brushed over a lot and kind of thrown out as, kind of a joke, kind of a serious, not a joke, but like kind of like an excuse when a team loses, like the Lions last year with Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn both were interviewing for jobs the week they got beat in the playoffs. But I do think there's some truth to it, because Drew, you just mentioned this is a dream job for a court. You coach your entire life to become a head coach in the NFL. That's like the peak. That's what you want. And if you take out like the NFL piece of it, like, think about your own lives. Like, if you had a job interview for your dream job, it's going to take up a lot of your time, like a lot of your free time. And, not 100% of your time, but that's time that you're not spending like watching film, game planning, looking at stuff like that. So is it going to be the difference? I don't know, but it definitely, like, to say that it doesn't impact your game plan at all, I think would be a lie. Like, I just don't, there's not enough hours in the day to do both things.
Perfectly said. And Drew, you're right on. And Nick, you're right on. I agree with you guys. It's certainly not going to benefit the Rams. Right. In under no circumstances are you gaining more time to game plan for the game on Sunday night. So it does impact that. Yeah, I definitely think that's worth noting.
Also, I would imagine I don't know if he has anything scheduled. I don't even know who it is. Who's the Rams offensive coordinator? I know McVay is like the play caller and everything, but who's their offensive coordinator? Does anybody know?
God, I got to go to the Google machine.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I just feel like every year the Rams offensive coordinator gets head coaching interviews, whoever it is.
So Shula, the defensive coordinator, and Nathan Shielhaas is the offensive passing coordinator. Both of them have virtual interviews tomorrow with Pittsburgh. And then should they lose this game, they can interview them in person on Monday. So like that, yeah. Not that I want to ever throw that out there and be like, oh, that'd be a component on why we win the game. But like, that's just interesting.
Wow. You know, it's Mike LaFleur, brother of Matt LaFleur, is the offensive coordinator for the Rams.
That's interesting. That's interesting because I mean, I don't know. Do you think there's going to be any revenge in that? Like, I don't know. Like, it just feels like Matt LaFleur and like all the Packers fans are very, very upset about the F the Packers and the handshake and everything. Do you think Mike LaFleur is going to take it personally? I don't know. Does an offensive coordinator really have anything? I don't know. Probably, right? He probably has some say. So,
yeah, sure. You know, it's in the blood. It's in the blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would be nice to beat two LaFleurs, you know, in the playoffs, though. I'll say that.
Oh, yeah.
Mike doesn't have quite the hair that his older brother has, though. So maybe who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. That's interesting. I didn't realize he was the OC. I knew he was like bouncing around the league, but you know, McVay, Shanahan, they all have like this. They all have like the ring of like the same coaches in their circle, and LaFleur came from that tree, so that makes sense that his brother's there.
McVay still calls the plays. So like, what are you doing? Right. I always question like what an offensive coordinator is doing in that role when the head coach is taking over the dictation of what's going to your quarterback or what's being talked to with your offense.
The Matt Nagy syndrome, just riding the coattails of Andy Reid.
Matt Nagy's in the interview cycle this year.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Tennessee Titans, take him. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Do it.
What an absolute.
Please, I mean, as a person that enjoys watching good football, please don't hire Matt Nagy as your head coach.
Keep him out of there.
We don't need that. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs that. Cam Ward doesn't need that. Like, come on, give the kid a chance.
Yeah, I know. For real.
But anyway, one thing I'll say about to kind of go back to the Bears offense is that I do think that, and Drew, you have it listed here, and I'm glad you called this out because the Panthers on last week were having some success against the Rams outside the numbers, outside the hashes, and the passing game. Do you think, I mean, obviously Ben Johnson watches this film. This has got to be something he's probably going to try to exploit. And on top of that, I think if that starts to work, then the middle of the field is going to open up. And, that's where Colson Loveland lives. And I do think that this could be a big Loveland game, but I think that are we at the point where that might just go without saying? Is it like,
right?
I don't know. Like,
I kind of think it is.
Yeah. The past month, maybe 2 months of the season, he's been the guy. He's been the number one guy. Last week, everybody was healthy out there. Granted, Rome was coming back from an injury and everything, but you got Rome out there, you got Luther Burden out there, you got DJ Moore out there. DJ had a nice game. Luther had some catches, but Colston was the guy, no doubt about it. So I don't know. Like, is it crazy to think the passing game could look nice against this Rams defense?
I actually think that.
Oh, Jay, this is your point, so go. Sorry.
No, I was going to say I think that the passing game is going to be more impactful than the running game is in this one. I really do. I think I want it to be run game dominated, of course, but I think the way to exploit this Rams defense is outside of the hash marks. I think that's kind of been their weakness all season, especially when you rewatch. I rewatched the Panthers Rams game today. And they were making money outside of the hashes and not on, small, just paper cuts. There were some big explosive plays to be had there. So if Caleb can get the time and that pass rush isn't immediately. Hell, even if it is, I mean, Caleb can get out of the pocket. He's so good at that. So I think that's where I think, the opportunities for game-changing explosive plays are going to be in the passing game, outside the hash marks. But to that same point, if you do that, like Nick, like what you said, that opens up everything. And I feel silly even saying this, but I really feel like this could be a passing game opens up run game situation early on.
Yeah, I mean, if the Panthers could do it with Bryce Young and a bunch of receivers I've never really heard of before.
Yeah.
Coker.
Coker.
I mean, I know McMillan's good. Coker had a nice year, but they're not, I don't know, they're not DJ Moore. They're not Rome Odunze. They're not Colson Loveland. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They're just So I think the Bears have a legitimate chance at, exploiting this Rams defense.
If the priority is outside the hashes, then you can, I would say you can key in Rome for having a big day because he's going to be, I mean, he's our guy that's split outside other than Luther. I think took over having to do that just because Rome has been injured for the final 7 weeks of the season. But I could see Rome having a big day if you're going outside the hashes with some throws to open up the middle and open up the run, at least early, and early targets maybe for Rome for sure.
Rome, Luther, I think those are the two guys you're going to want to look at for those big plays on the outside the numbers. Because even DJ, while he's a really good receiver, his game is more of a possession in the middle kind of guy, go over the middle, like slants, posts, stuff like that. So I agree with you. I think it's going to be a Rome. I think it's going to be a Luther game outside. If that's the game plan, is to go outside the hashes on them. So we will see what happens there. But that's something that's interesting to watch. If the Bears can have success exploiting the pass game on the outside, I think they're going to have a lot of success the entire game. But yeah, the Rams did it, or the Panthers did it. So I think the Bears can do it too.
It's one thing to take just while we're watching the game too. I would say just watch how, close and what kind of press the Rams secondary is putting on Rome and DJ, because there's going to be some opportunities. They have a tendency to do that sometimes, and it makes sense. Luther typically running routes over the shorter routes for the most part. Obviously, the two most explosive plays DJ's had this year were 40-yard bombs and things of that nature. But primarily, these guys are not the deep route runners. I would love to see a couple of early outs to DJ and then hit him with a out and up and a double move and just blow the top off of it early. But we'll see.
Yeah, and to kind of go back to the original point, if that is the game plan, you need to make sure the offensive line integrity is there, because those double moves, they take time. So you got to make sure the offensive line is there to cover for that. So we'll see. I have, this is, again, I've said this a million times, but it's an unusual spot to be in, just being like, well, I trust the coaching staff. I think they're going to come up with a good game plan. I do. And even when it doesn't look great, I think that they'll be setting things up that are going to come into play later, like they did, like they've been doing all season. So a lot of faith in the Bears offensive play calling. Do we think there's going to be any trick plays, any like razzle dazzle stuff in this game? I feel like he's going to do it because he just, that's what he does. And I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I think there's going to be one or two for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's, we're at
attempts for sure. Yes.
Yeah.
We're successful.
Yeah. Like you said, just don't snap it to Manungai, please.
Yeah, right. Don't. Yeah, I don't know. I know that I've said this a bunch of times too, but like trick plays, they usually like mostly, I'd say 90% of the time, a trick play either works for a big play or it's a huge loss that's really dumb looking. So I know you gotta take the good with the bad in those situations, but I really just a 3rd and 1 trick play that ends up being a loss of 10 would be absolutely demoralizing. So let's try and avoid that. One thing I'd like to see in like 3rd and 1 situations is just, let's not get cute with those and let's just run the ball. Because I was rewatching the game against the Packers last week, and that 4th and 1 where they did the play action rollout and nobody blocked and the receivers all fell down and it was an interception. It's like, it was 4th and 1. Like that's one of those situations where it's like, all right, we're going to play big boy football. If we can't get 1 yard here, we don't deserve to keep the ball. on the run. So I think just in situations like that, I don't know, maybe not get too cute with it, but
Keep her simple.
Yeah, sometimes you got to keep it simple.
And I think the one attempted trick play last week was the Cole Kmet, like the toss back. Cole Kmet was going to throw it lefty and then just decided I'm going to tuck it and run it for a yard. I'll take that even over what you were saying, Nick. Just a disaster of you turn over a trick play or you just have a very negative impactful that's like a ×2 bonus box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One, they did have another kind of trick play in that game that got blown up by the Packers by complete accident. There was a play where they did like a toss counter to Luther out of the slot, and the Packers pass rusher, I can't remember who it was. He was rushing Caleb, and he wasn't even looking at Luther Burden, and he just ran into him and completely knocked him out for like 5-yard loss, and it didn't look great.
That was also that was like a double pull of the offensive guard and tackle, and just like open part of the Red Sea for I think it was Quay Walker. Might have been.
It was him. It was I don't know. I'm not going to get a name. I don't care.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, so, trick plays, I guess if you look at it that way, you could say we're due to hit one, but we'll see. I think there will be at least 1 or 2 trick plays attempted in this game. So
it's not going to be Cole Kmet again passing the ball, because you only get one of those a year because people forget he's left-handed. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. He's got a cannon, by the way.
He's got a fucking cannon.
Yeah. I mean, drafted by the White Sox as the pitcher.
Yeah, God. Was that earlier this year where did they do it in early on or preseason and he
Cincinnati?
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
It was in Cincinnati. Yeah.
Dude, the story behind that too is he was just like throwing the ball at practice and Ben Johnson was like, what the fuck? Like that, you got a fucking cannon.
Yeah.
To the lab.
To the lab, indeed. Yeah. I think. Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. I think you're going to see some trick plays. Maybe, I don't know. I remember earlier in the season, we saw Tyson Bagent on the field, and he actually threw a pass, like a reverse pass to Caleb.
Yeah.
See some weird stuff going on in this game. I think this is going to be a kitchen sink game, right? Like this is, especially if you're down late in the game, I think you're going to see a lot of weird stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That, or if you're up by 2 scores and you just want to bury them.
That too.
Just bury them and embarrass them and say like, okay, there's no reason that you should be in this game anymore. Go ahead and rest on your laurels and go home. That's it.
Yeah. One thing I'm going to say, and I've been meaning to say this since we started the show really quick, is just this week I talked about it at the very top of the Bears preview. The money line, the Bears are plus 165 money line. If you're thinking about betting the Bears 165 money line, my suggestion to you is bet like 75% of what you're planning on betting on the money line pregame. Save that 25% for like when it's plus 800 in the third quarter and just hammer it then.
Yeah.
Because, and you guys know that's one of my favorite things to do. Live bet a team that I think is going to win that's down by 2 scores. That's like one of my favorite ways. It's one of my favorite bets. God, the game last Saturday was such a blowout at halftime. It never even crossed my mind.
Yeah, same.
Which is crazy. But anyway, we don't need to go there. But that's probably gonna be my strategy. But we'll talk about that a little bit later.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't know. So Bears offense. I think, let's, every week we come on here, say run the ball, then throw the ball. I think let's flip that this week. I think you're right, Jay. I think let's throw the ball the outside, let's move the ball, and then let's absolutely crush them with the run when they're out of breath from chasing down, pass catchers the whole time. I think that's a great game plan. Now, the part that's not as fun to talk about, the Bears defense. Bears defense. This is a nightmare matchup for the Bears defense. When everything, like, assuming conditions are ideal, you don't want to see a Stafford Puka with Devontae Adams out there and their rotating group of like tight ends that all look exactly the same and they like play exactly the same. Is that Tyler Higbee? Is that Colby Parkinson? I don't know. They're the same guy. They're the same guy. You know, I don't know.
100%.
Yeah. So I don't even know. Is Colby Parkinson? Is that his name? I know Parkinson's his last
Yeah.
name. Okay.
Yeah. Colby Jack Cheese, dude.
Yeah, he's a Colby
That's-
Jack guy.
that's
Very plain Jane. White guy. Blonde. Tight end. Rams. There you go.
There you go. There you go. Man, yeah. So, that's what I was saying. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But yeah, on paper, this is a nightmare matchup for the Bears. The Bears give up a lot of yards, and these guys get a lot of yards. So it's not ideal. I think the cold balances that out a little bit. We'll see exactly how much, but the cold is going to help in that regard. But we can't obviously lean on the Rams being too cold to play football for our entire defensive strategy. I know that's not what they're actually doing, but you know, watching what Jordan Love did to the Bears in the first half, watching what Brock Purdy did to the Bears a few weeks ago, you can't have a ton of faith in the Bears secondary. And it also seems like the turnovers have kind of fallen off a cliff the past month too. So there's a lot to be nervous about in this game. And yeah, I don't know. Like, I'll stop there. Just before we dive into the specifics, what are you guys thinking about this Bears defensive, this matchup against the Rams offense? Drew, what are your thoughts on this just before we go into anything else?
Yeah, where do you stop it? I don't know.
I don't know where to put it.
Yeah, there's no recipe for stopping this for any defense. I mean, this isn't just for the Chicago Bears. So it's not like it's like we're going to be the odd man out for stopping the LA Rams offense this year.
No, for sure.
A bunch of teams have had trouble. I think where you start is you gotta pick one of the wide receivers and take them out of the game. And you gotta start with Puka Nacua. He is their possession wide receiver. He scored twice, but he is the guy who is going to chunk yardage off of your team at will. So if there's some way that you can neutralize this guy and make them beat you with Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams, and Blake Corum or any of their tight ends, I'm fine with that. Like, go for that. Matthew Stafford knows his guys. He knows his play calling. So does Sean McVay. So what I would like to see is just one of their offensive weapons completely neutralized. And that would be a definite win for me. At least in Dennis Allen's eyes, I think it's like analyze and interpret like what happened the last week with the Packers is digest what knocks you down in the first half and go ahead and turn that into a positive into the second half. If that can happen too, that's a very, very big positive. But again, this game kind of strikes me as one of those games it's going to come down to the wire, and maybe who has the ball last wins.
Yeah, fair take.
Yeah,
fair take.
I'll take that. I'd sign up for that right now.
Oh yeah. I think Nick and Drew, for me, if I'm Dennis Allen and you know what you got, and you don't have a defense that can stop an elite level offense like this in a neutral setting. And I think you really have to play into the elements as a defense and really preach physicality, make them hurt, make those hits hurt. And I mean like hurt, and preach to your defensive linemen and your front seven to, when you have a chance, make Matt Stafford hurt and prioritize that, especially in the first quarter. Maybe you're going to give up a couple touchdowns, whatever that is in the first half, but make those touchdowns and that stand in the pocket to open up a window across the middle, make it mean something. Make him take hits, get those hits. I'm not saying play dirty. I'm not saying take late hits, but when you can, you got to drive him down. Make the ref make the decision to throw a flag. In this game, as meatball of a take as this might be, 15 yards on, a questionable, I'm not saying a late hit, but something that might draw a flag is probably worth it. Driving him into the ground against the cold turf, with a hurt finger, you got to make him uncomfortable. And the only way he's going to get uncomfortable is if he's getting stingers. And he's old. Let's not forget about that. He's old. Those hits are going to hurt extra. That guy's got a bad back. He's got a bad finger. He's been an Iron Man this year, but this is playoff football, and you got to get your licks on these guys. The Pukas, the running backs, make them want to not get hit and run out of bounds and not fight for extra yards. And that's, the defense isn't going to have a chance unless they do something through the longevity of the game to just slowly but surely wear these guys down with physicality. That's the only chance the Bears are going to have. The defense is to slow this game down, unless of course we get some turnovers. But like Nick, you said, and we've known all along this year, those can be situational and a little bit, freakish to a certain degree, freakishly lucky, whatever that might be. But that's really the only way I see the Bears having a chance to keep the Rams under 30 points, honestly, in this game.
Yeah. Jay, you just mentioned the turnovers. I mean, in Matthew Stafford's career, specifically like the days in the Lions when we used to see him more often, you would say that, Matthew Stafford was inclined to throw a couple interceptions here and there. This season, however, as you nicely noted out for me, he is leading the league in touchdowns with 46, and he only threw 8 interceptions on the year. That's an incredible ratio. Yeah. That's unbelievable. That's, MVP, hopefully, for me.
Yeah. There you go. Sitting pretty.
4,700 yards, 46 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That is a hell of a season. The Rams as a team, 15 turnovers on the season, which is 4th best in the NFL. They don't give the ball away. So, Matthew Stafford did throw, was it 2 picks in the game? No, I think he threw 1 and then almost threw a second. Then Puka made a really good play on it. But last week against the Panthers, in his career, he has shown the ability to throw interceptions, but this season it's not been the case. I'm really hoping that like the cold weather, that finger, floats a couple balls over the middle, right to Kevin Byard. That's kind of what I envision happening. Yeah. But I also am not banking on that because you can't bank on that because Matthew Stafford is a Hall of Famer. He's likely the MVP of the league. So I think that expecting the Bears to get 2 interceptions this game would be unrealistic. So it can happen. I don't know if I would. I might bet on it. We'll see.
Hey, he threw 2 interceptions the last time we played him, which was 2024 in week. What was that? 3
or 4. Yeah, it was early.
Yeah. Like Jay was saying, though, and I commend you, Jay, that like you hit those wide receivers a couple of times over the middle. They're not going to want to go over the middle. Yeah. Every time. A throw will sail if a wide receiver isn't running as hard down towards a slant or down towards the open part. Sorry, I'm skipping a little bit ahead. No, I think a big component to this, CJ, GJ.
Yeah.
Being back, that dude is not afraid to hit somebody.
That's a great point.
Too. Like, that's a big guy that, like, I'm glad that's back. Kyler, you're great. You're awesome. You're great in coverage. You're quick. You get to places better than CJ can, but CJ is gonna put his fucking mouth on somebody.
Yeah.
And yeah. But yeah, hit these guys hard, and that's gonna
hit these guys hard. Get these guys hard and put your mouth on
these guys hard. Hit them hard. Put your mouth on somebody.
Yeah. Oh, man. I think that's word for word what Dennis Allen's saying to the boys. So,
speaking of missiles and hard hits, though, maybe Jaquan can come by and just light some Puka up, Devontae up.
That is kind of his role in the team. Like, you're not going to have Jaquan Brisker out there covering anybody like one-on-one. That's not his game. He is like not as much. He can't really do it in this NFL these days, but he is kind of a throwback strong safety in that he's back there to tackle people and hit hard and be like your, eighth guy in the box. So yeah, I agree. Yeah. I'm going to go back to the cold weather and the injured finger. If you're going to, when quarterbacks miss with injuries like that, they typically miss high. When a quarterback misses high, it could mean two things. It could mean it's a hospital ball and your receiver is going to need an ambulance, or it could mean that you're going to throw picks to the safeties.
Yeah.
So both of those things are good. You need to, put your face mask like right in their ribs. Just make them hurt.
And one other thing too, on the physicality angle and the Brisker and the help tackling and just trying to lay licks on these guys, licks and mouths, is, I hope Dennis Allen's kind of preaching to Brisker and the safeties and the secondary and the linebackers and all that. You know who is fantastic? My favorite wide receiver in the game, in a lot of people's favorite is Puka. He does everything right as a wide receiver, including really fighting aggressively for extra yards and taking those hits. The difference between Puka and Devontae is old. He's not, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but he's got that old man game. He sees people coming, he's going down across the middle. He's not, he knows to keep, his body right for the next play. Puka doesn't give a shit. You could have him in two people with their arms around him. He's fighting like fucking mad for a half a yard. Yeah. And you got to coach that for this week specifically. If Puka's trying to stay up and fight for an extra yard or two, you make him earn that extra yard or two, and you get those hits on him when you can.
Yeah, or he goes up in the air. I'm sorry, he goes down hard.
Yeah,
you go up in the air for a ball that is contested, you're going down hard, and you're going to feel it.
And
85 Bears shit. Listen, we're 40 years removed from it. 85 Bears, channel it this week more than any other week. Go hard, hit people hard, like you guys were saying before, like flags. Yeah, on the defense this time, I'm okay seeing it.
Honestly, me too. And I want that Lance Briggs style of mentality and physicality for this game. And as silly, again, as politically correct in football viewership as this is, let's remember that this is fucking football. And part of the game, part of the advantage of football is hitting the fuck out of someone else and making them watch the rest of the game from the sideline.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say about that mindset, which I agree with to a certain extent, is that when you start throwing that mindset into players, sometimes they kind of lose it. And they, the one thing you don't want to see is like a 3rd and 10 incompletion that gets them a first down on like a roughing the passer penalty, right? Like that's so. As much as I love the aggression idea, it has to be controlled. You cannot just be, rabid dogs out there, just like, you got to know the situation. You got to know when to do it, when, like, first and second down, go for it. Third down, I don't know. I still think kind of go for it, but like also just be smart about it, because nothing more demoralizing than watching your defense get a stop than just see the bailout flag because your defensive end like put his weight on the quarterback. And it's such a stupid, like, we all know they are flags and we're all going to complain about them still. It's just the way it is because it's
AKA Austin Booker.
That's the Austin Booker game.
I mean, if you had to, the leader in the clubhouse to get a roughing the passer penalty is easily Austin Booker. I don't think there's anything. I mean, he's probably like minus 10,000 to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Not even close.
He can get there. He can get there.
No, he'll just do it like 3 seconds late.
Yeah.
No, I do think that the physical mentality is a good thing, and I think that that's something you have to have, just within reason. Like, which is hard it's hard to walk that line, but I just can see like a 3rd down stop finally happen. Just, there's a flag. Fuck. But in terms of the defense, like the coverages, I mean, the Bears can't play man. They just can't. Like, Jalen can play man. I don't think he can man up Puka, but Jalen can play man against some people. You got Nashawn Wright out there who it's not his strength playing man. Kyler Gordon can play a little man on the slot. CJ Gardner-Johnson, he can't play man. The safeties can't man up really anybody. So, you lean towards zone, but then the zone, when you don't have a pass rush, you get picked apart. So it's just kind of a pick your poison situation. I do think the Bears had some success in the second half against the Packers blitzing, which is the first time that we can say that in a while. So, I think that some well-timed blitzes. I'd like to see the Bears D-line do some like aggressive stunting. I feel like there hasn't been a lot of like big like twists and stunts by the D-line. I'd love to see something like that. Just because that's, if you watch the Patriots Chargers game, the Patriots were stunting and twisting the defensive line to the charge, like to kill the Chargers. Like the Chargers didn't know what was coming. Justin Herbert got hit 1,000 times in that game. I could not believe how many times he got hit. So, I'd love to see some of that, because that's just like, if you're just going to rush your gap, a mediocre offensive line knows it's coming and they can take care of you. You don't need to worry about that. If you change it up, then they don't know what's coming. They're kind of on their heels, and that's when you kind of can get some advantages. So I'd love to see some of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't want to keep beating this horse, but the Rams do have the best defense, the best offense in the NFL, averaging nearly 400 yards a game. So that's, Bears defense gives up a ton of yards. Makes you very. I mean, Jay, you wrote, "Are we scared?" That scares me. I'm terrified of that.
Yeah, strength on weakness.
Yes,
from a yards perspective.
And don't discount it. That they, through the regular season, they rushed for 126 yards on average per game.
Right.
So like, that's another scary ass thing. Like they decide with two running backs, hey, I'm gonna rush Kyron Williams and Blake Corum at your biggest weakness, which is the middle of your line.
Which, by the way, talking about the running backs, probably the two players on the team that are the most used to the cold. Blake Corum went to Michigan. Kyron Williams went to Notre Dame. Those are not warm weather. I mean, college football season is usually wrapped up in November for like actual cold games. They don't play cold like bowl games ever, but still, it gets cold in Michigan. It gets cold in South Bend. So those are two guys that probably aren't going to be as affected by the weather. So that running game might be a problem as well, just because, again, that the running backs are probably going to be less affected than some of the other positions on the field with the weather.
Good point.
But and then, to get to some injuries and stuff like that, we obviously know TJ Edwards, he's not going to play, broken femur. So we're going to have DeMarco Jackson, which honestly, like, TJ Edwards never really felt like he got his game speed this season.
I agree.
Definitely a lost year for TJ Edwards, which I feel bad for, because I had a lot of hope for him coming this season. Still think he's a good player. Still looking forward to his future. But I do think that the drop off from TJ Edwards to DeMarco Jackson, like right now, as of prior to TJ Edwards getting hurt this time, I don't think it's that drastic. I think that DeMarco Jackson has actually played very well in his time as the Bears inside linebacker. So I think that shouldn't be a huge disadvantage for the Bears, outside of the fact that it's the Bears defense versus the Rams, but just that on like its own, I don't think that's a huge deal. But getting CJ Gardner Johnson back, Drew, you mentioned it, big deal, big help for the Bears. Not only, is he a reliable tackler and a guy that can blitz and get some pressure, he's also just like a spark plug, and you love to see guys like that out there in big games. So that's a big add. If nothing else, just the emotional and like firing up the boys factor.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. So I don't know. We talked about Coleman Shelton already.
Revenge game.
Who's getting revenge?
I don't know.
Yeah. We should. But yeah, he is Coleman Shelton, mentioned it, starting center for the Rams. He started every game this season. He's middle of the pack, but he's 36th out of 40 centers rated in pass blocking. I assume that's their like PFF grade or something like that.
Yeah.
So can I just say something? I don't know what PFF, I know what it stands for. I know who does it. I don't know what they're looking at. I don't know how, like, I see PFF grades and I look at them like, these don't make sense. Like,
I cite them just because it's like,
yeah, no,
it lets me have a narrative that I want it to be
100%.
in this instance.
No.
Dude, I have no trust of I think it's just glorified bullshit, to be honest with you.
The one thing I'll say is that, and I don't want to keep going back to this game, but when we watched the Patriots-Chargers game and I watched the starting lineups, every single one of the Chargers offensive linemen was like 35th or lower. And I was like, all right, this actually tracks. This makes sense. This is the worst offensive line I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot of bad offensive lines. So I just, I think that Pro Football Focus is good for this exact thing, like saying like, okay, he's this out of this many rated players. Cause there's not a lot of, it's hard, at the end of the day, we're just like regular fans. I don't know offensive line play. I can't like watch tape. Like I can say like, oh, that dude just got beat. He sucks. But like, I don't know, It's nice to have that for sure.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, they want to overdo and overcomplicate a lot of things. Like you should just be able to say like, oh, Coleman Shelton's getting beat every time on when they pass the ball. Yeah, he's in the lower echelon. That's good. And they come up with all this hoo-ha and silly shit.
Yeah. Nerds.
Fucking nerds.
Yeah. And who's grading all of this? Out of what scale and how many people? Like who has these grades? Who's putting them out? And who is constantly rating
the algorithm? It's Grok.
Yeah, the algorithm of centers.
Putting them all in bikinis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to go to Cancun first? Like
doesn't Chris Collinsworth have like, isn't he the founder of PFF, or isn't he like a big part of it?
Would make sense because it's stupid.
Am I making that up?
I hadn't heard that, but sounds fair.
I'm on the PFF website, so I'm going to go to the About Us, and if Chris Collinsworth
is the majority.
Now here's a guy who's ranked 36th out of 40. That's
Mahomes is always number one.
There's going to be a lot of here's a guys. There's going to be a lot of Mahomes talk. For sure.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? I like Collinsworth a little bit. I think he's fun. I don't know. He's kind of. It is charming.
It's charming.
It is charming. I'd rather listen to him than Romo for sure. I think Tony Romo sucks. I can't listen to Tony Romo call a game anymore.
Oh man,
here we go. Here we go.
I do not like Tony Romo. He's easily my least favorite of the major broadcast
color commentators.
Number one color commentators. Yeah,
of the good ones. You're not putting him over Archuleta. Yeah.
No. He's not over Archuleta. He's not under
the different
Archuleta.
tiers. The different tiers.
Yeah, the different. Yeah, for sure.
I'll tell you what. I would rather and I know we don't have him in this game, but I would rather see JJ Watt be the number one guy at CBS. I think he's awesome.
Yeah.
I love listening to him.
I think that's going to happen. I think
I think JJ Watt pair him with Jim Nance. And you got A++.
I would love that. I would love that so much.
I honestly think Tony Romo is probably, I don't know what his contract looks like, but I think that's kind of the sentiment of a lot of the viewers and watchers and listeners is that a lot of people are kind of done with the Tony Romo thing.
Yeah. But
Tony Romo was our generation though. Like he was through our, when he was playing, so it made sense. Now it doesn't.
Yeah.
He's not today's NFLer watcher.
Yeah.
He doesn't resonate.
All things must pass, just like his relationship with Jessica Simpson, which is I still can't believe that was a thing. Anyway, don't know why I brought that up.
No, it was
you Panthers, baby.
That's right. Eastern Illinois. What the fuck town is that? Charleston, Illinois.
Charleston, Illinois.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Beautiful. Charleston.
Sean Payton, Eastern Illinois.
Jimmy G.
Yeah.
And that's it.
My
dad's cousin. Also.
Yurko from
did he?
Cam and Yurko.
I didn't know that. That's cool. Never been to Charleston, Illinois before.
Yeah,
but
it's all right. I don't think.
Not worth it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Do you guys have anything else about the Bears defense? Just say your prayers.
Yeah, say your prayers, and let's get some turnovers and get Stafford out of the game in the first quarter. That's the game plan.
Yeah, give me some Our Fathers, give me some Hail Marys.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. The one thing that's I think is interesting in this matchup is you got Sean McVay, who was the young, hot head coach that took the league by storm like 6 years ago, whatever it was, 7 years ago, versus Ben Johnson, who's kind of, I mean, maybe this is bias being in Chicago, but I think it's kind of getting that way nationally. Kind of the new McVay, if you want to call it that, kind of the new like guy who's, lighting the league on fire. Yeah, he's the it guy for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting matchup because you don't think of McVay ever, and I don't even know how old McVay is. I don't think he's that much old. He's like 42, right? Something like that.
Still super young.
He can't be any older than 40.
He's 39, guys.
Okay.
He's 39.
Yeah, I was gonna say he can't be older than 40.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He's super young.
So him and Ben, he's a year older than Ben Johnson, I believe.
Yeah.
That's crazy. He was the head coach who was 33.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts. But anyway, either way, whether age
Super Bowl when he was 35.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Shit.
Yeah, shit.
So age aside, though, it does kind of feel like, even though they're the same age, it does kind of feel like Ben Johnson is the new generation of the Sean McVay type. And it's an interesting matchup because I think, the league obviously for a while has been an offensive league, and just kind of seeing these two in this playoff game, I think it's interesting. And I don't know. I think it'll be a fun matchup. It's kind of a fun little chess match. I know they won't really be calling plays against each other directly because they both call offense, but it will be a fun little back and forth, I think, between the two. Also, let's not forget that Matt LaFleur is a Sean McVay tree, and Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur don't like each other. So this might be like kind of a little bit of like and also we talked about earlier, Matt LaFleur's brother is on his staff. So this might be a little bit of a, little young rivalry brewing, which I'm all for.
No, I love it. One thing too, all of these coaches in the NFC that are left, Mike McDonald's 38, Ben Johnson's 38, McVay's 39.
Yeah.
Shanahan looks, I don't even know how old Shanahan is. I'll Google that really quick. But like,
LaFleur's like 45.
No, I didn't know that.
LaFleur is much older, like not much, but like significantly older.
Mid 40s.
Yeah, I think he's 45 or 46.
Yeah.
He is 46. But anyway, sorry.
Shanahan's 46 as well, actually. So, but I mean, still, like, I feel like it's the wave of this generation coach is you could put all those guys in a line and be like, okay, they're all the same. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. No more hires of Pete Carroll. So
he's out there.
Hey, I want to throw something out to you guys that I've seen a lot of, and just on Ben Johnson, and I love it. I have to say I love it, and I'm all about leaning into this. A lot of people are talking about him being or mentioning the word villain or heel, and him kind of based on his fuck Green Bay, all of that stuff. Like, would you like or do you like your coach being kind of identified as that, being a little bit of a villain or heel or something, like stand out to be like, yeah, come and beat us sort of guy?
I think that it depends. It's if
you win,
Ben, yeah, if you win, right?
Yeah.
You have to this point,
right? Yeah,
somewhat. So
you just don't want to be the guy that's like that and like never gets to an NFC Championship game or something like that. Like, that's a good
point. That is a good point.
Sure,
I think with Ben though,
pretty quick if that happened.
That's true.
I think he's only a villain. Ben's only looked at as a villain in the Packers' eyes, and that's fantastic. If it's to your rivals, I don't see that being. It's not like he's a cocky prick. He's just a psycho.
Yeah,
and that's cool with me. If you're, who is the offensive coordinator for the Commanders?
Kingsbury.
Yeah, that guy's just a prick.
Like, now it's David Blau, but yeah.
Fuck. Jesus.
But yeah, Kingsbury's who you're talking about.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? I think there's a difference in 100%. That personality. And like Ben's, the locker room gravitates. So it's good energy. I don't think it's bad energy. It's good energy that can be perceived and like taken poorly to your rival. I dig it. Yeah. I dig it.
Yeah. I think to the national audience, the non-Bears, non-Packers fans out there, I think a lot of fan bases probably like love that. Like, right, like there are plenty of teams out there they're losing a lot to their rivals right now, and they look at that as like, hey, maybe that could be us someday. Like, I know that like when the Bills started beating the Patriots, that's like, I was like, man, maybe the Bears can get there with the Packers someday.
Yeah.
That was kind of something that I looked at from a national audience perspective. So I do think that like I don't think he's quite there yet. I think the Bears still have enough like goodwill nationally because they've been such a fun story, kind of like the Lions were the last couple of years, where not to the extent, because the Lions obviously have been like historically bad for most of our lives. Like the Bears have been bad, but they've had a couple good runs. The Lions have been just an absolute joke for our entire lives up until the last few years. Mm-hmm. But there is some of that, I feel like, coming to the Bears, where it's like, hey, this is a fun story. I wouldn't mind seeing this keep going. And I think that a lot of people look at Ben Johnson saying fuck the Packers is kind of like, that rocks. I hope that like we can do that to our rival someday.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. Couple other things I want to clean up really quick for this game. So in terms of the uniforms, we have the Bears. I loved the navy on navy. I don't think it got talked about a ton. I loved the navy on navy. I thought it was a good look. But the Bears will be going with their traditional navy on white pants with the orange piping and stripes and everything. So again, yeah, keep throwing the classics out there. And then the Rams are going to be wearing their like royal blue pants, I think, with their white shirts and their blue helmets, as I believe I saw. So I never know. Yeah, I never know what uniforms the Rams are wearing these days. I feel like they change their uniforms every other year.
Yeah.
So whatever. But anyway, that's the uniform matchup this week. And this is one of my favorite stories. I texted you guys about this as soon as I've been on this beat all week, just so you guys know. I was on this beat last week. It didn't come to pass, but this week I've been all over it, and it happened. We're getting a Jim Cornelison national anthem at Soldier Field on Sunday night, which I am personally very, very excited about. Nothing gets the Chicago fans into a frenzy like listening to Jim Cornelison belt out that national anthem. And I, for one, they better put that on national. They better put that on the broadcast. Like, I want to see it. I don't want to watch some cell phone footage of it. I want to see it in 4K on NBC's cameras. So please, NBC, put that out there. You're going to want to see it. You're going to clip that. You're going to get a lot of views on it on social media. Just do it, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They'll probably only play it on Peacock.
The game's actually on NBC though, right? They're not playing on Peacock. Yeah, okay. Yeah. At this point, they can't be doing streaming shit, right?
No. It's all cable or network. Yeah. I don't want to go into too much of a tangent because we've already been kind of long-winded on the Bears stuff, and this isn't really Bears stuff, but the streaming playoff games is absolutely insane. It's pitiful. Fucking crazy. I read an article about a guy who is like at a nursing home and like doesn't have streaming TV. He's like 80 years old, can't watch the Bears Packers game. That's like, that sucks. Could you imagine like being a Bears fan your whole life and then like finally being the Packers and you just like can't even watch it on TV? That's fucking terrible. Put it on TV where everybody can watch it. Jesus Christ. We don't need this fucking Amazon Prime shit, Peacock shit, Netflix shit. Like, just put it on TV, please. Amen.
Playoff. Hey, you want to make your money in the regular season? Go for it. Playoffs, let's put it on cable.
Amen. And well said.
Mm-hmm. Anyway. Okay. Just really quick, going to breeze through the injury report. We talked a couple of the major ones already, but nobody really on the Bears is listed. Like Nick McLeod, if you're interested, did not participate in practice this week with a groin injury. Everybody else looks like they're probably going to play outside of obviously Ozzie and TJ Edwards, who were put on IR. So you're going to probably be the healthiest you've been in a long time. So that's exciting. And then the Rams, I'm looking at it right now. Poona Ford, he has an elbow injury, but he's probably going to be out there, no problem. Matt Stafford practiced full participation all week. Terrence Ferguson is the third tight end I didn't mention earlier, who looks just like the other two. So he's injured, but everybody, it seems like the Rams are going to be pretty healthy. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't participate, but I don't think you're really worried about the backup quarterback. Although Stafford with the finger thing, that does get interesting if Jimmy Garoppolo can't go. Because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, their other quarterback is Stetson Bennett, former Georgia quarterback.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not a ton of experience in the NFL. Probably never been in weather this cold before in his life. So it might, getting a little ahead of ourselves, but if anything does happen to Stafford, he has to come in. That might be an interesting turn of events.
Right.
But overall speaking, both these teams are pretty healthy for this game. So I don't know. I know you got like Kyler Gordon and Rome Odunze, who both had soft tissue injuries coming into like last week. They both came out and played. Any worries about those two playing in this game, particularly with the weather the way it is?
A little bit, right? I mean, it's a little bit. I'd like to see Rome get a full practice. I mean, he's been limited Wednesday and Thursday. I'd like to see him get a full going, but like, it's going to be cold, and those soft tissue things can rear their ugly heads, especially in the cold weather. So the good news is, and with all due respect to Rome, he's fantastic, but like that, the Bears have depth at the skill position, so it's not, catastrophic if he pulls up lame in the second quarter or something. You know what I mean?
Definitely 100%. Yeah. It's a good spot to be in. And then one injury. So one guy in the Rams, really quick. Jay, you made a good note of this to call this out. Rams offensive lineman. I'm not see tackle, I assume.
Yeah,
Kevin
he's a guard.
Oh, he's a guard. Okay, Kevin Dotson, the Rams guard. He has missed the last 3 weeks with an ankle injury. He is back in limited practices. McVay says he's most likely playing. He's a big difference maker on the offensive line. So that does, that's not ideal, but at this point you're going to play good teams with good players, so it is what it is.
And hopefully he doesn't suit up too, because if you got an interior of Coleman Shelton and a backup guard, I mean, there could be a path to get some pressure in A gap. You know what I mean? So who knows?
Yeah. So, okay, let's talk through really quick. I'm just going to kick it around the horn. Let's talk keys to the game. Jay, why don't you start? What are your keys to this game?
You want to limit the damage that Stafford can do and the offense can do, and you need to figure that out. I don't know how, but my God, that's the fear and hopefully the offense can keep Stafford off the field. The offense can keep Stafford off the field. So it's an uphill battle, I'm going to say. So I'll keep it short and sweet and just a couple Hail Marys as well. And let's let the weather kind of run its course and see if we can get a win.
Well said. Drew, what are your keys to this game?
Yeah, the ways to beat an NFC West team this year is just to keep them off the field on offense. So all about ball control in my mind. I don't care how you do it, if it's in the short passing game or if it's in chunk yardage through the run, make that happen. We know our defense is not matched up against high-powered offenses very well, so let's take the clock away from them. And if you have to make it a shootout, absolutely have just Caleb on one. Have the Iceman ready to go and just gunsling, and have that play calling for Ben Johnson.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my keys to the game, get that passing game going early, keep it going, and then pound them with the rock up the middle with the run game once they are exhausted from chasing the passing game around on offense. And then on defense, I really do think that, you got to buckle up in the red zone. You got to throw somebody over the top of Devontae Adams in the red zone, because he is their number one red zone target. And I think that, I think you got to manufacture a turnover or two in this game. And I don't think that's impossible. You look at last week, Bears had 0 takeaways. There were 3 fumbles. Bears got 0 of those. I don't think that happens again. The fumbles happen because of the Bears defense doing what they do, punching the ball out. And those, you do that 3 times in a game, you're probably going to get one most of the time. So keep that up, get a turnover, maybe 2. And let's keep the offense rolling.
Well said, Nick. That's the game plan. I think you hit it on the head.
Yeah. All right. So this is that time of year where every time we talk, there is more coaching carousel news. I don't know, Jay, you want to go through the coaching stuff?
Yeah. Well, let's hit on this pretty quick. I wanted to drop this in here just because it is pretty big stuff. I mean, you've had a couple of coaches, 17 years, 19 years with their team, either getting fired or stepping down. So Mike Tomlin stepped down from the Steelers after a 19-year run. And that's more than half of our lives. It's a pretty crazy run. I don't think a lot of people were terribly surprised by it. I think he's, when you talk to Pittsburgh fans, right? Sam, Drew, and Nick, I talked with him last night. He's like, yeah, I think it was just time for him to go. And from a Bears fan perspective, like, this motherfucker's never had a losing season. Like, for 2 decades, that's nirvana to me. Like, hell, we tossed the stat at the beginning of the season. We hadn't won a playoff game in 15 years. I just wonder, is this the right move for the Steelers, Nick? Do you agree with this? Is it time to move on? And at the end of the day, 19 years is a long time.
Yeah, I think with both. I mean, Jim Harbaugh, we talked about, or John Harbaugh, excuse me, we talked about last week. Tomlin, they're both kind of in the same boat. They came to their teams, I think, 2 years apart. I would imagine, I think is what it was. I think with both situations, it's just, there comes a time. It kind of reminds me of the Lovey with the Bears. Obviously, they had more success than Lovey had here, but Lovey was a good coach of the Bears. It just at some point your message kind of goes stale, and I think that you just need to change it up in the building to, get some new blood get some new lifeblood in the team. And I think that, I don't think either of those are going to be looked at as like their time there is going to be like looked at negatively. They both had great careers in those towns. But yeah, I think at some point, I mean, the thing about the Steelers is that Tomlin had them just perfectly in football hell for the past 10 years of it.
Yeah.
Like, they're good enough to make the playoffs. They're not good enough to win in the playoffs. They're not bad enough to like get a top 10 pick to get a quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger retires. It's been a rotating door of mediocre to bad to old quarterbacks at their team. So I think that, something's got to change. Honestly, I don't know what they're going to do about the quarterback situation, because it doesn't seem like Rodgers is interested in coming back, and I don't know if you want him back, and they're not going to get a top 10 pick. So I don't know what the hell you do at quarterback if you're the Steelers. But anyway, I do think that it makes sense. And Tomlin he'll do whatever he wants. If he wants to coach again, he'll get a job. If he wants to go into media, he'll do that. If he wants to chill for a couple of years and get a coaching job later, he'll do that. Like, he's going to get a job when he wants one. So,
yeah. Drew, any thoughts on Tomlin? Nick, that was perfectly said, but anything to throw in there?
I just think he's going to be probably put into an organization in a role that is more impactful towards like acquiring players or analyzing players, or he might be close to a GM more than an actual head coach. I don't think a lot of people are going to eye him towards being a head coach anymore. He's going to be like the president of ops or GM going forward towards somebody, and somebody's going to have him for that. And that, he deserves that. He's had a lot of impactful decisions in Pittsburgh, and I think that's probably what he's leaning towards, less of a forward-facing or front-facing role.
That makes sense. I think that is very probable. One of the things, and I don't want to. We'll go on soon here, but I always loved Tomlin. I thought that he did a fantastic job of coaching the players and making under-talented teams and getting the most out of them. I don't think anyone can argue that with the quarterbacks that he's had. But in my discussion with Sam yesterday, as a diehard Steelers fan that he was like, that's true, but look at the offensive coordinators he's brought in. That's direct hires from Mike Tomlin. You're talking Matt Canada. You're talking Arthur Smith. These guys are the worst of the worst in the league. And there's merit to that, right? And it's like, who are the quarterbacks that Tomlin's kind of sought out? Who's the guy from Pittsburgh? Blows.
Kenny Pickett.
And
Mason Rudolph.
It's impressive that they can win, but it's not impressive that you put yourself in the position to have to win with that kind of talent and that kind of offensive coordinator. So I think it does make sense. And I hope that Tomlin has all the best. I love the guy. But the other one I wanted to hit on, and we'll just hit on this really quick, is more of a news than an analysis, is John Harbaugh, fired by the Ravens not too long ago, first kind of splashed in the market, signed a contract with the New York Giants, and holy hell, what a contract he signed. 5 years, $100 million. So that's an impressive number for a head coach. I don't know off the top of my head, but that's got to be the highest coach in the league, right? 20 mil a year.
20 mil a year is a lot.
Yeah, for a coach. It's quite impressive. So he's fine. He'll be all right. But I don't know. Before we move on, anything kind of quickly from you guys on that? Was that surprising, or does that kind of fall into line where the predictions were for you guys?
Joe Shane trying to save his ass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well said.
That's it. Yep. That's it.
Yeah. And I just looked it up, and Andy Reid is the highest paid coach, around $20 million a year. So John Harbaugh has joined
There
him.
you go.
Wow.
So that's a lot of money. And I do think the Giants actually are a good coach and a few pieces away from being a decent team. So I think that this might be an okay pick. It's just, I just would hope that John Harbaugh gets some say in picking, because I don't know, maybe that's not true, but at least in like free agency and who leaves and who stays and who they sign. So
yeah.
Decent defense with a decent defensive line, obviously with Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns, but like,
and the rookie from Penn State, who turned it on at the end of the season, Abdul Carter. Yeah, he had like 3 sacks in the last 2 weeks. So, but yeah,
don't watch porn in practice. Didn't see that one, guys. Huh?
No, I didn't see that. That was not a real story.
There you go.
You know, it's right there on your phone.
That was some more clicking. That was some Grok stuff. That didn't actually happen.
Yeah, that was Grok. That was Grok. I was just looking up the game plan.
Yeah, exactly. Had to see what was going on, guys.
Yeah. Well, hey, Drew, why don't you take us into the BQ BAFC, the barely qualified betting and fantasy corner?
Yeah, we'll do it really quick. This week, obviously, as always, it's brought to us by Chuck's Southern Comforts Buffet on Cass, just off of 55 in Darien. Chuck's got great food and drink specials for every day of the week, and for Bears games especially. You can find them in a link to those on I'm sorry, pulling a J right here at the beginning. You can find a link to their menu and all of their specials in our descriptions and bios in our socials. $3 PBRs, $5 Yingling pints, more for their Sunday specials, but with a wide open layout for bar patrons, including slots, seated dinner guests, and private event spaces. Chuck's has got everything you need for your next outing, so get on down there and tell them that the BQ boys sent you. Maybe we'll even see you for 1 or 2 games left of the year. I know we're going to
three more games.
More.
Come on.
3. Right. I'm sorry. Yeah, we have it coming our way. Fantasy Pick'em this past week had it well. You guys picked very, very well. I'm tracking a little bit low with Jacoby Myers and Kyle Monungai on the bottom points of the week, but Jay, Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, huge. Obviously, we're only doing 2 weeks of the playoffs here, so you gotta get your big guys out. Nick, Matt Stafford, Puka, that was a perfect stack for you. Kyron, not as much, but Nico, again, too, a little down. Final standings right now, we're at 53.92 for Drew, 69.58 for Jay, 64.76 for Nick. Guys, I was thinking about this for next year on top of the BQ Guillotine League. This might be, I know, Nick, your uncle does a fantasy sort of scoring league like this. This might be one that we reach out to the patrons and try to get them involved with a pick'em in our fantasy segment. And see if it's not like everyone involved, we get some sort of a group consensus on their picks and they go against us.
I love it. That'd be fun.
So that would be fun.
Might do that going forward. But so for the divisional round, we're gonna go with Jay's gonna get first round pick since he's leading the track. Nick, you'll be second. I'll wrap it in the snake for third and fourth, and so on and so forth. So Jay, who you got this week?
Okay, I'm gonna take the points leader in fantasy for the regular season at the wide receiver position, and I'm going to take JSN. I think that's a pretty obvious one. Going against a just beaten up 49ers team at home, keep the analysis short there. Seems pretty obvious.
Yeah, that was going to be my pick as well. So I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. After a week off, yeah. Your pick of the litter there makes total sense.
Right. Okay, you said I'm up next?
Yeah, you are, Nick. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. I think you said I just scrambling. I am going to take a running back here. I got kind of screwed into not taking a running back last week, so I'm just going to jump on that right now. I'm going to take Christian McCaffrey as my running back.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, CMC takes that out of the realm. Can't pick with anything New England, obviously, because that defense that they're playing is absolutely crazy. So what we're gonna do here is, oh man, I hate doing this. We're gonna go with the Denver stack.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, Buffalo's not amazing, but we're in Denver. Denver. We're in Denver.
I like it.
And they got to have something happening with Bo Nix. So we're going Bo Nix in quarterback, and we're going Courtland Sutton as a wide receiver, right there.
Okay. 1 and 2. I mean, that Bills defense is gettable, right?
Yeah. I think that's a good pick. Okay.
All right, Nick, on you.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, I am going to take. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to take my quarterback. I'm going to take Caleb Williams as my quarterback.
Hell yeah.
And in my flex spot, I'm going to take Colston Loveland. So I'm going to do a nice little Bears stack. Colston Loveland had a monster game, didn't find the end zone. I think he gets in the end zone this week. So, yeah, Caleb and Colston for me.
Okay. I love it. Go Bears, right? Let's fucking go.
Yeah. Yep. Let's go Bears.
Excellente. I am going to take and fill out I guess I don't need to fill out the quarterback, but I'm going to do it anyway because I don't have another pick on hand. So I'm just going to rock and roll with Josh Allen.
Yep.
Oh, in Denver. I mean, that Denver defense is brutal, but it's Josh Allen. And, there's no down matchups there are, but you know what I mean? It's Josh Allen. And I'm not taking Matt Stafford. That's what you know what I mean? Not on Bears week. I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
I would have thought you'd stack JSN with Sammy D.
The news on Sam Darnold is he just tweaked his oblique and he's questionable for the game. If you can,
that would be wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I love the stacks, but it two things. It's Sam Darnold, and until he wins a Super Bowl MVP, which he just might this year, I can't un-Sam Darnold him. I can't. He's always Sam Darnold, So Josh Allen, I'm rapping, yeah?
Yeah, you're rapping.
Okay, I'm going to stay in that same game, and I'm going to fill out the running back position with RJ Harvey against the Bills.
Okay.
Harvey. Like it. Okay.
Yeah, so my wide receiver, I had Courtland Sutton written down as my guy that I was going to take as kind of my backup. I obviously had JSN as my number one, and they went 1 and 3 in this thing, so I'm was a little scrambling. I'm going to take a shot. I agree with Jay. I think Josh Allen is just Josh Allen. He can get that Broncos defense, so I am going to take Khalil Shakir.
Okay.
They have 3. Have you guys seen that posting of they have 3 wide receivers healthy? 1 wide receiver of theirs has been suspended. No, I'm not suspended, but sat for 4 games, which is Keon Coleman.
Yep.
The other one was signed 3 weeks ago, which is Brandon Cooks, and the other is Khalil Shakir. So,
it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Can Josh Allen get some Gosh darn help.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a running back and wide receiver to hit. What do we? Jay, what did you pick for your? Did you pick your flex?
I have not picked my flex yet.
Why do I have you off?
Because I thought I was wrapping around when I took Caleb and Colston, and I actually only had one pick at that moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
fine.
We'll
Just
give it
wrap
to
it,
you.
wrap
We'll
it
give it
around,
to you.
Drew. Yeah,
Whoopsie daisy.
It doesn't
Sorry,
impact
boys.
anything. Don't worry.
Well,
about
no,
it.
that was my fault. I did that wrong. It's not like I was looking for that.
It doesn't impact anything, so we're good.
Yeah, no, I don't think it does.
You guys weren't taking Khalil Shakir?
No.
Someone who I think has been an absolute staple that I think is fantasy relevant for me in New England, just because we have to have somebody in this game, is Ramondre Stevenson. He's been I don't think that they're going to get anything going with the run game for him inside the tackles, but he has been catching passes.
Yes, he
out
has.
the backfield for God damn it, I forgot the quarterback name.
Drake May.
Yeah, Drake
Thank
May.
you,
Baby.
Drake May. But yes, Ramondre Stevenson is going to be my running back. Wide receiver. Oh boy. Fuck it.
You need a flex, right? Because you took Cortland Sutton.
I have Cortland Sutton.
It's
who
a
I was
flex.
putting at the wide receiver / flex.
You're open.
Yeah.
The board's open.
All right, I'm gonna take Juwan Jennings.
Okay.
Yeah, Juwan Jennings.
You know what I've noticed too is there's some damn good defenses left in
really
this
are.
playoffs, aren't there? Seattle and Denver and Houston.
and Denver, yeah. Patriots are a good defense too.
Patriots are good. The Rams
Yeah.
are decent. I mean, they're decent.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna finish us off, and you guys kind of put me in a bind, Drew. I was really thinking you were going to take Puka, and Puka's left, and I don't want to take Puka, but there's the fantasy side. It's like it's Puka, so fuck Puka. I'm going to take DeAndre Swift and fill in my flex, because he's going for. It's just guaranteed. Lock it in. 30-point DeAndre Swift game. Just can eat, baby.
I wanted to take Rome. I wanted to take I wanted to take one of our wide receivers. Just didn't know who to take.
But there's no one you can in a fantasy because it could go to anyone, and anyone that you pick could go for one catch for 12 yards.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
love it.
Fantastique. Let's lock them in. Okay. So we'll watch that, and then we're gonna move on to some of our other favorite sections here. We'll go into the dogs are hungry of the week. We're gonna pick some dogs. There's 4 games. We got to pick 3 dogs. So God bless us all. Last week we were so damn close on both the dogs and the overs. Honestly, we went 4 for 6. It's just we didn't get the clean sweep in any one of them. My bad for Kenneth Gainwell over 5.5 catches. That was dumb.
My bad.
But let's turn.
I jinxed it.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. He threw it out there.
I mean, I did pick the Chargers with the worst offensive line in the history of the NFL.
It didn't matter, Nick. When I threw that out before both games were played.
Yeah, it wilted the flowers. But what are you gonna do? Let's go into the dogs. Let's pick some. Let's pick 3 out of the 4 dogs of the week. Nick will go. Nick, Drew, and then me. So Nick, why don't you lead us off?
I actually love 3 of the dogs in this week. Love them. I'm going to leave one for somebody else if they want it. I'm going to take Houston plus 3
there you
against
go.
in New England. God damn it, I'm going to bet every week against the Patriots, and one of these days it's going to pay off. And I think this is the one. I mean, the Chargers defense is good, and the Patriots had trouble moving the ball against them. If their offense was not as which is a completely just dead, the Chargers would have been in that game, possibly could have won that game. The Texans offense isn't great, but I do think that they're better than whatever that Chargers thing they did on Monday night or Sunday night was. So I do like the Chargers. I think the Texans. I think they're live to win this game. I do like them +3. I wish I got 3.5, but I'll take +3.
Okay. I like that. I think all of the dogs are attractive this week against the number and maybe even alive for their wins as well. So for all the reasons you said too, Nick, I don't think this is the matchup that Patriots fans wanted.
No.
So
nobody wants to play the Texans.
No.
That defense is just terrifying.
It's absurd. So I like that one. Let's ride with that one. Drew, who you got?
It's playoffs, baby. So you give us dogs. Anybody could win these matchups.
Mm-hmm.
They got here for a reason. So Nick, love that pick. I'm not gonna let Jay go 2 for 2 here.
Yeah, good.
I gotta take him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take him. I'm
Bear
gonna
down,
take
baby.
Chicago Bears. Give me that 3.5. I love the 3. I love the half-point kicker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too. That's amazing. We're at home, so yeah, we've talked about it ad nauseum. So
you're never out of this game. That's a good thing about this. You're never out of this bet.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep. 100%.
Correct. And I agree with what you were saying earlier, Drew. I think this comes down to a last second, maybe field goal, and that 3.5 is big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very big. So that leaves me with either the Bills or the 49ers. And I love the Bills. I just don't know. In Mile High, I don't know how banged up Josh Allen's going to be with his knee and his hand and I swear to God, he had a concussion last game and they were just like, nope, clear him. So, and you kind of mentioned it too. I don't think they're going to get a sustained run game against Denver. So I kind of like Denver in that game. So that's going to leave me with the 49ers +7. It was 7.5, and then
that was a quick switch right there.
I know. No, I know. But I'm gonna take the 49ers +7. I don't love the matchup, but I think that there's some traction with Sam Darnold not being 100%. 49ers defense isn't good. Their offense is in shambles, injury wise, but they always find a way to get it done.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna.
Yeah.
No, go for it.
Say division game. These teams know each other. 7 points is a lot of points for a playoff game. It's a lot of points for a division game. I think that's a great pick. And Sam Darnold might not play apparently. So
yeah. So let's wrap that up. You got a number in that parlay for us, Nick?
I do. I think DraftKings heard us complaining last week, boys. This is +656.
Wow.
Ooh. Yeah.
They did hear us complain. We do have push and sway.
Yeah, that's right. Correct.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. Well, on to the next one. Overs of the week. Last week, you guys did fantastic. Rams, Carolina over 45.5. That was just destroyed. So great pick, Nick. Puka over 91.5. He ended up with 111. Great pick, Drew. I unfortunately let us down with Gainwell over 5.5 receptions trying to get cute. I won't be doing that again.
Where did he end up, by the way? Did you read
4?
Okay,
Yeah.
so it wasn't terrible.
It wasn't terrible. He had a drop as well, and then they just got blown out. But it is
Aaron
what it
Rodgers got pulled in that game.
is. Yes, he did.
God,
I was hoping. I was like, okay,
what a
garbage
shame.
time.
Yeah.
Hey, if he doesn't play again next year, his last pass in the NFL will be a pick 6. So that
Hate
would
to see it.
good.
fantastic. Fantastic. So let's go to the overs, guys. We're going to mix it up. We're going to go Drew, me, Nick. Drew, why don't you lead us off in the overs?
Okay, weird one. I've wanted to do this all season, but maybe next season we'll get towards it. Sorry. I wanted to do a combo parlay of 2-player props underneath even, and it gets to the even. But here's what I'm doing. I am doing Brandon Cooks over yardage, which is right now, I think it's 29.5. Could go up.
I got 27.5.
That's
27.5.
tasty. That's.
Give me
I mean,
that.
who else are they going
Give
to
me
throw
that.
the football to, right?
Hopefully
Well,
Khalil
got
Shakir.
clear secure. I mean, he was absolutely targeted. He got targeted 9 times in that game. And the fact that I can get 27.5 yards, give me that. Brandon Cooks over.
Give me that. Yeah, I can jive with that. I like that.
It's not going to be a Patrick Surtain. Patrick Surtain ain't chasing a 35-year-old Brandon Cooks.
No. Oh man. Okay. Well, I like that. I'm gonna go myself as I scroll through these and take a look-see here. I'm gonna take the 49ers and the Seahawks over a 44.5. I think that's gonna be a tough sledding matchup for the 49ers. Again, they're playing in Seattle, so that's tough. I don't think the 49ers, I think there's going to be upwards of 50 plus points in this one. And I like that number quite a bit. So 44.5, the 49ers defense isn't formidable. But I just think CMC and that team find their way in the end zone 2 or 3 times. And that number kind of clears with relative ease. So 44.5, Seahawks, Niners.
Yeah. I like that. That's my favorite of the game overs, I think, and I believe this week. So for me, I'm actually going to go to a player prop, which is not something I typically do, but I don't really, I don't really want to. The Broncos defense is pretty good. I don't want to I don't want to do that. The Texans, we know their defense is good. Patriots have a decent defense, and it's going to be miserably cold in Chicago. I could be wrong about that, but I just kind of want to steer clear of a miserably cold over, especially when it's the biggest number on the board by a decent amount.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to stick with a player prop, and I am going to actually take someone from that Bears-Rams game. I'm actually going to take Caleb's over in rushing yards. It's at 18.5.
Ooh, good deal.
So over 18.5 rushing yards for Caleb. He averages, I think, 22 rushing yards on the season per game. So
that's a good one, Nick. I like that.
Yeah,
getting fleshed out. Open up the playbook 570.
Is that right? I didn't add mine in yet. Rushing. Caleb. Yep, 570.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Well,
let's win some bets this week.
Let's get one.
They hate the player props. They discount those.
They really do.
Shit.
They really do value them quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right.
And none of those are in the same game either. So sometimes it kind of cannibalizes itself if you're doing an over and a player prop. But yeah, it's just DraftKings being a dick. Yep. Okay. Let's wrap this up with the 3-man weave, right? Playoffs started last week. I wish I bet these games because I did pretty well.
You take it, Jay. You ran it. Take it all the way through.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Well, no, I'll hand it over to you. I just wanted to put the spotlight on my success.
You take it right now.
All right. Yeah, I went 6-0. That was fun. You guys did fantastic as well, 4-2. So we had a good week calling these games, winners and losers. So we'll hope to keep our good fortunes rolling. And let's just start with the Saturdays. We'll just kind of go chronologically here. We'll start with Buffalo at Denver, 3:30 kickoff on Saturday. Broncos are -1.5. Nick, I'll kick it over to you. Who do you like in this game to win?
I like Buffalo in this game to win. It's going to be a tough game. This really comes down to, one, I don't really think Bo Nix is that good. And 2, I hate Sean Payton. But
fair.
mainly the Bo Nix thing. So I'm going to take Buffalo in this game.
2 fair points. Drew, who you got?
I don't know. There's something about Mile High. Mile High home field advantage. I don't care about Bo Nix. I don't care about a lot of what's going on in Buffalo. It's just more of Mile High takes Denver. So I'm taking Denver there. It's the number 1 seed too. So yeah, Denver moves on.
I'm with you, Drew. I think their defense is really, really good. And in Sean Payton, I don't like him either. I hate him. I'm with you, Nick. I don't think that Bo Nix is good, but I think that unfortunately, for as much of a jagoff as Sean Payton is, he's just the coach you would want in the playoffs for me. So I'm going to take Denver as well. And that'll kick us over to the Saturday night game, San Francisco at Seattle. Seahawks -7. Drew, you kick us off. Who do you got?
I love the fact that this is getting an additional run on top of the last game of the season. I want San Francisco to win this so bad. And I think they do. I think they do. I think Shanahan gets some revenge on, I don't even know what the fucking
Mike McDonald.
Seattle. Yeah. Thank you. On Mike McDonald, but it's just the NFC West. NFC West was a fucking throw up this year. I like San Francisco this year, not to get everything done, but I like them to get as far past a lot of their NFC West opponents. So give me the Niners.
All right, you got the upset going on. Nick, are you feeling upset city here?
I want the Niners to win because the Niners win and the Bears win. Bears host the NFC Championship game, which would be awesome. Unfortunately, I think Seattle's going to win this game. San Francisco, they've played with their injuries quite well, but I think it's going to catch up to them this week. Just too many injuries.
Yeah, I know I picked them as my dog, but I still think they're going to cover that 7. I think it'll be a close enough game, but I think that Seattle ultimately wins this one. I'm with you, Nick, there.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the Sunday slate. So we're 2 p.m. kickoff. Houston at New England is 3. Does the magic wear off? Does Drake May finally face a formidable defense and get stifled here, or are the Patriots running away with it? Nick, who do you have?
I've been on the anti-Patriots train all season. I'm not going to get off it yet. I'm taking Houston. If their offense can do anything, Woody Marks gets a nice game, or, I know Nico Collins, it seems like he's a long shot to play in this game with a concussion, but, God, I almost just said Charlie Kirk just now. Christian Kirk actually, he looked good in the game. So he looked good last week. Maybe he can take the reins from Nico if Nico can't play. But if Nico can play, I think that they definitely win. I think that the Patriots have not done anything that impressed me all season. They've been like, they've beaten the teams in front of them, which is good, but a lot of teams in front of them were bad. And then they played the Chargers in the playoffs, and the Chargers, who were bad, were in it for a long time with an absolutely anemic offense. So I do think if the Texans can do anything on offense, they're going to win this game, and I think they will.
Yeah, fair points. Drew, same wavelength.
Patriots showed me something on defense last week that they can actually stop a team. I know it was the Chargers, and I know Chargers had a defense that could travel. Ugly game, but I think that the Patriots have a little bit of something with coaching aspirations this time around. So I'm going Patriots.
All right, Drew, I'm going to be in your camp on this one. I want the Texans to win this game. I just think that the Patriots are a little bit of a more complete team. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I do.
Yeah.
But I'm not a CJ Stroud fan, and that Houston offensive line is pretty porous. And I think that there's going to be enough pressure to make CJ really uncomfortable. And I really do think that they would need a historic and heroic defensive performance, which isn't out of the question, right? But I think it's the Pats just due to them being a more complete team offensively and defensively in total. So let's move on to the big one. Sunday Night Football, 5:30, Rams -3.5 against our beloved Chicago Bears. I'm going to lead this one off, guys. It's the Bears, and I'm not even going to put an explanation on it. It's just a season of destiny, home field advantage, all that good stuff. Let's keep the party going. Drew, who do you have?
Yeah, we're going nowhere else. We're going Bears.
Bears.
Gotta be. We do it. We get through. I think there's, rather than it being insurmountable or unrealistic, the Bears can do this. This is a team that can win any game, and they should win any game with the coaching that they have and the fact that they just want it more than some teams that are out there. So Chicago Bears, baby.
Let's go. Nick?
Yeah, I am taking the Bears, obviously. The Rams were talked about most of the season as the best team in the NFL, which I think they were for a lot of it. But if you look into like November, like if you look at the last game into November and into December, the Rams are they won 2 games down the stretch, and then they obviously beat the Panthers last week. They lost to the Falcons. They beat the Cardinals, and they beat a very injured Lions team. They have been on the downslide the past month, and I feel like nobody's talking about that. The cold, Matthew Stafford's finger, I just think the Bears have this game, and I don't think they're going to run away with it, but I do think the Bears end up on top. So, Bears.
Let's get it. Well, cool, guys. 3-man weave complete. Closing thoughts. Drew, why don't you start us off with the closing thoughts this week?
I got nothing more than just saddle up. Everyone out there, you're about to watch 4 games that mean something to each team, each region, this means something very much impactful towards Chicago. And I want every Chicago fan, Bears fan, to be out there listening to Jim Cornelison shout a national anthem. On top of that, I want them to have their eyes glued on their televisions and watch this game because it means something. This city, to everything that is going to go on in the next 10 years around here. And the one thing that I do want to say is fuck JB Pritzker for coming out with his press clipping of talking about our stadium. Don't want to hear that ever again in a playoff run. So done with that.
Remove the noise. Focus on the game.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yep. No, good. I love it. That's what this is all about.
Yeah.
Tell us your thoughts. Safe space, Nick, hit us up with your closing thoughts.
Yeah. Closing thoughts for me. Really works out nicely so Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and I am taking the day off work because my kids don't have school, but I'm actually taking the day off work because I plan on being up celebrating a Bears victory all night. My mom is already watching the kids. I don't need a babysitter that day. My mom has taken the kids, but I have taken the day off work under the guise of my kids don't have school and I need to stay home with them. So I will be up all night Sunday night partying after a Bears victory for sure. And of course, by partying, I mean watching TV up till 2 a.m.
Correct.
I'm not going out. I'm not 38 years old. I don't need to be doing that. But
yeah.
But I have the day already taken off work on Monday just so I can be up late. And because if it's going to be anything like the last game, it's going to take me 24 hours to recover from it. So I need the day off work. So yeah, I recommend everyone do the same. Tomorrow when you're at work, be like, oh yeah, I got to take Monday off and Martin Luther King Day. Can't work on that day, and enjoy a Bears Monday.
No, absolutely. Why not? Let's rock and roll. Have some fun with it. I know my closing thoughts for this week are going to be on a similar wavelength. Nick, last week against the Packers, we got a sitter for Georgia and Tessa. And then we went over to my parents and we had an absolute blast. And that's what the postseason football, like this is the rare enough, hopefully more frequent occasion where it's like, it's fun to extend your team's season because you get more time to be excited, whether that's socializing or just enjoying the game how you want to. You have the opportunities to go to the bars if you're still young and hip and cool and want to do that, or get together with friends and family at someone's house, or just watch the game with your own family, right? And so for this Sunday, it was great too. After the Packers, Bears-Packers victory, I woke up the next morning getting all the kids ready for school, and the first thing that George asked was, "Hey, Dad, did the Bears win?" And I was like, "Oh yeah," and that was a really cool moment. And so, earlier today, George was like, "When do the Bears play again?" Because she's really starting to get into football, because I'm getting into football, and she wants to throw the football around the couch, and she dives into the couch and catches the football or doesn't catch the football, and it's a lot of fun. And so she's starting to kind of get into it because I'm so into it. And she said at breakfast today, she's like, "Dad, when do the Bears play next?" And I was like, this Sunday. Is like, "Can we watch the game? Can I watch the game with you?" And I was like, and it like melted my heart. So that's my game plan, is to stay in, watch the game with my daughter. She'll probably watch, 5 minutes and then wander around. But we're going to do the, what we call it the Super Bowl spread. You get popcorn and goldfish and all the shit that she'll like as a kid, and chocolate milk and all that stuff, and really just kind of go to town and raise the next generation of Bears fans and get excited for it. So I'm really looking forward to that. Obviously the game, but like there's a little extra something special when you get asked by the kid to watch a game. It's the first time that's ever happened. And I was like, it made me feel real good. So,
Awesome.
Go Bears, enjoy the time, enjoy the connections and the talking that you can do around the water cooler about the Bears. Are they going to win? How's the game going to look? We can either be victorious and super stoked on Monday or Tuesday, whenever, you were seeing other folks, or the opposite, but it's something fun to talk about. And let's relish that for what it is too. Other than our fandom, it's the ability to kind of socialize an extra long time with our friends and our families and our enemies. Paul, fuck you. So, that'll do it for this episode of Barely Qualified, guys. On behalf of Drew Bailey and Nick Lavris, I am Jason Maxwell. Thank you to everybody for listening. And as always, we'll catch you on the flip side.
Thank you for listening to the Barely Qualified podcast. Like, comment, subscribe for more on a bi-weekly basis.